How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport. Today, let's go ahead and dive into your favorite car, my favorite car, and really the main focus car on this channel, and that is my 95 Mercedes S500 W140. I've done VIP stuff to it, and now we're doing regular maintenance. So it's been quite a bit since I've done the last video on this. You guys have probably seen some different types of videos, and I enjoy being completely transparent on my channel. So I've done quite a few Harbor Freight review videos in the past, and recently I've started to do more and more of them. And the main reason why is that is a huge supporter of this channel. I don't know why. I didn't expect it from the beginning, and I launched a few Harbor Freight videos when I first started the channel that are now upwards of 300,000+ views, and that's made me quite a bit of money. I know most YouTubers don't like to talk about how much they make. This is not a full-time thing for me. I would love for it to be someday, but I've made enough to support projects like this W140, like my Porsche 944, and purchasing other things, as well as paying for this shop that I'm able to work at. So right now, the revenue from YouTube pays for this entire shop, plus a little bit more for me to buy parts. So pretty cool if you're thinking about doing one yourself. Just know you'll have some videos that do extremely well, and they may not be exactly what you want to do, but you sometimes have to do those from time to time. But let's get back to the W140, which is your guys' favorite thing. I enjoy working on it. I enjoy putting videos out there. And today we're going to dive back into trying to figure out the vibration issue we have with this 95. I've already went ahead and did the upper control arms on the other side. I did the tie rod on the other side and a few other suspension components. And now I want to start doing the lower control arms. Now I picked up both. So we're going to do both sides of the lower control arms, and then we'll be doing the driver's side upper control arm shortly. I just want to see if this will resolve our vibration issue. And the vibration issue we are having is around 40 to 60 miles an hour. I know some of you guys are going to be like, check the tires, check the tires, check the tires, but I've already went through 3 or 4 different rim sets. These are brand new tires on here. I've had them rotate them, I've had them balance them several times, and it is not the tires, it is not the rims. It has something to do with in the front area of this suspension. So I picked these Febi control arms up off of Parts Geek, and I think I paid just over $200 for the set. And here is the numbers off of them, but I'll put the links in the description for you guys. It's 21303 and then 21302, obviously left and right side, so you want to make sure you get the correct one. So first thing you need to do is get this tire off. I've got it jacked up, got jack stands underneath there, and we got to pull this tire off, and then we can start working on getting the bolts out. Alright guys, I went ahead and moved the car over here mainly to get out of the sun. Also, with that angle, I just didn't feel as safe as I would on flat ground like this. I've already got the car jacked up, jack stands under there. But one thing I did fail to mention in the beginning of the video is this is a very dangerous job. I highly suggest bringing it to a shop because you do have to remove the springs. And to remove the springs, you have to have specialized tools. I already went ahead and ordered some, and it's still a very dangerous task. These are under extreme pressure. This car is very heavy, and these springs have been known to pop out, even kill people. So just make sure if you're going to attempt this that you do follow procedures, you get the right tools, and watch a ton of other videos, read some tutorials. But if you have the capabilities of bringing it to a shop, go ahead and do that just for safety. I did go ahead and pick up this spring removal tool a long time ago, and I've already went ahead, and the small plates are what's going to slide into these front springs. I'll show you guys how that works, and we'll pull our spring out first. That is going to be the first step to getting these lower control arms out. And then there's just going to be a bunch of bolts. We'll probably take some other parts off. I may even replace those as we go because I'm not daily driving this vehicle at the very moment, although that is my goal. And so I can take my time removing parts, ordering different parts. I will fill you in on all of that because I like to show and document everything I do in case I do something wrong and you guys catch it, or if you notice something that needs to be done, you guys can always fill me in. I love the feedback. So let's go ahead and get set up, get this spring out, and then I'll show you guys the procedures to removing everything else. I'll try to fill you in on torque specs and all that, or at least link you to something. All right, let's go ahead and get that spring out. So let's go ahead and get our spring out using our compression tool. Now, before you do this, make sure you read up a lot on it because they can be very dangerous. This is the first time I've ever used one, but my neighbor has used them many times, and he kind of walked me through everything, and we're probably going to double check, triple check before we pull the spring out. But this is your basic setup. So you've got your plate. I use the smaller one. You got to make sure the right size fits into your spring. The top of this is ridged like that, and you'll see here the top of the tool will slide in. you want to set your plates as high as you can. So this is going to be the top plate, and you'll see it won't slide in there, and we can get it to slide in right there. Now what you can do is twist it to get it to come up to the top, because it's shaped like the spring and it will slide right in. And I think where I want to get it is going to be right around here, based on the length of the tool. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom, but we're going to face this side down. We're going to try to find where we can slide it in, and we're going to twist it around till we get it lower. You want to have it as low as possible, but the tool is only so long, so you want to make sure you get it in the right spot. Now this tool is set at the max. This is the bottom part of the tool. They do have another piece that connects to that, and you can connect to a socket wrench, which is what we're going to do. So we want to make sure we got the bottom of the tool at the bottom, and we're going to slide the upper part of the tool up through here, and we want to set it into our spring plate. Is going to set into the bottom area. Bring this down a little bit. Bring this pretty much down to the bottom. And now I can start tightening it, and as we're tightening it, we want to make sure the plates stay nice and positioned so they don't slide off, because that's where it can get dangerous. And we're going to slide up underneath and start tightening. So I ended up using the larger plates. I don't know why I didn't think those were going to work, but they ended up sliding in even better. Same procedure, so no reason to record that again. Okay, now that we've got our spring compressed, we can start taking the components off. What you want to do is get up under here, and there's going to be a 22mm bolt on top of that ball joint. We're going to remove that bolt, and we're going to hammer here to knock this down. But before we do that, we're going to have to take our shock off as well. That is going to be a 19mm. I've got our new tool from Harbor Freight here, the cordless ratchet torque. We're going to use that, and that should take it off. Once we get this lowered down, we're going to use our jack and lower it down and be able to pull our spring out. Then we're going to remove the back two bolts, which I believe are 24mm. Let me get set up, and we'll go ahead and start taking everything apart. So quick fill-in, I went ahead and removed the sway bar length. It just made it easier to get everything out. I'm not sure if it's necessary, because you can see it still basically lines up here, but it just made it easier to knock this down. It did take some time, a lot of hitting to get this to come out. I ended up raising up the lower control arm quite a bit, and finally it just dropped. And now we've got to take those back bolts off. Like I said, they are 24mm, and I think it's the same on the other side. I'll let you know if that's any different. Let's go ahead and get them off. No, easy. She's out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and slide our new control arm in. Now, I made a mistake. I should have marked my camber bolts here. That way my alignment would have been close to what it was. I am taking it down to get an alignment right after I get done, and it's less than a mile away, so it should be okay. We will mark the other side. So this is gonna be your camber bolt. You wanna mark it. This side has a welded on nut, so you always wanna remove it from this side. I mean, a welded on washer, and this side has a removable washer, and you'll see a slit there that slides down. So this is how they adjust your camber for your alignment. So let's go ahead and we're gonna slide everything back on and try to get it the best position I can. All right, so I've got this loosely tightened here, and what I found online is 180 Newton meters once in driving position for our back bolts, which is 132 foot-pounds. These are all things I just found on a forum, so if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. And down here on this part, it's going to go into the ball joint. It's 140 Newton meters or 103 foot-pounds, and then 100 Newton meters or 73 foot-pounds for our shock absorber bolt. That sounds about right. I mean, that's a lot of torque, but that makes sense on any of the suspension components. I'm going to go ahead and lift up this, get our jack underneath there, and be able to slide our spring in, and then be able to tighten everything up. I'll go ahead and record most of it for you guys and speed through it. Well, I'm gonna have to buy ball joints now. Take a look at this. Not sure if any of you guys have ever seen this, but I was tightening the lower control arm onto the ball joint, how it connects, as you guys saw, and torquing it down, and it just kept spinning, and I couldn't figure out why, and it wasn't getting tighter. So I went ahead and tried to take it off, and it just kept spinning. And man, what a hell of a job after that. So this is several hours later in the day. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, we're going to change out the ball joints. I'm going to go ahead and do the sway bar links, and we're eventually going to move on to every single suspension component. But I'm going to do a part 2 of this video. Pretty much most of the control arm is done. It was already getting put in. All I need to do is torque everything down and pull our spring compressor out, and we pretty much would have been done. But the ball joint stripped out on the top, so now I've got to install a new ball joint. Obviously got to order those parts, and I want to get a video out to you guys, and we're going to make this part 1 of the series. So we'll do the control arms, ball joints, and the sway bar linkage, and we'll kind of wrap it up into a part 1, part 2 of this. Good thing is I'm not daily driving this car like I had mentioned, and I can take my time fixing this, but I did overnight the parts because the holidays are coming up and I knew it was going to take a long time. I don't want to be working on this during the holidays, and it is nice not having a car up in the air because it's not that safe when other people are pulling in and out. So once again, guys, my name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. Like I said, part 1 of this series is going to be this video. Part 2, we are going to be installing the new ball joints, and we'll be doing the sway bar linkage as well, since that is destroyed on this car. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the next video.